Hi, I'm Mark Rushka. Welcome to my first attempt to show the existence of an ancient white culture that existed in the middle of the North American continent over 13,000 years ago. In 2010, I deciphered an unprecedented microlithic abstract art figurative language. I compare it to the discovery of the Rosetta Stone in that it's the latchkey that unlocks a portal into this white culture's Ice Age world. Ironically, that world looks nothing like the paradigm currently accepted by archaeologists. I figured this ancient language out by studying the extremely small pieces of fossiliferous flint that I found at over 20 sites that are less than 5 miles from my home. It wasn't until I studied and interpreted pieces from the Spanish diggings in east central Wyoming that I realized that I could film or photograph that art because the pieces were so much bigger than the ones found near my home. This is because at that site, the Mammoth people had an inexhaustible source of quartz stone that they needed to produce predictable fractures, such as conchoidal fractures. This was made possible with the aid of heat treatment. Virtually all of their artworks were recreated out of the heat-treated stone, and the way that you can verify that is because it gives off a burnt, pungent odor when you handle it with warm, moist fingers. After 9 years of research and over 1,800 interpretations of the artworks that I found near my home at Ulysses, Nebraska, I have discovered over 20 repetitive themes or folklore tales associated with them. They are a visual storytelling tool, much like a storybook that we read to our children today. The difference is that instead of viewing the two-dimensional page of the storybook, you view a three-dimensional, almost statuesque image from one distinct angle before you turn or rotate the rotational change-up artwork to the next image or scene. I've come to learn that the majority of these stories are of the epic folklore tales that the Mammoth people repeatedly told to their children to educate them about the trials and tribulations that their ancestors went through to get to here. The overwhelmingly most popular of these epic folklore tales was that of the volcanic mass exodus. It takes place in a windy mountain pass in the middle of the Pleistocene night. Everything that you see on these pieces is being illuminated by the imagined constant flashes of lightning that are coming from the violently erupting volcano's broiling ash cloud that's pursuing them. I've published 2 companion books explaining everything that I've learned from all of the interpretations. The first book is called The Sentient Mammoth People. The second companion book is a book of line sketch illustrations called Reflections from the Pleistocene. The line sketches are scenes from those popular epic folklore tales. What I'm hoping to show in these videos are individual images from those scenes on an easy-to-see heat-treated stone artwork that's placed side by side with the line sketches of the same scene's image, but that was sketched perhaps 6 or 7 years prior when I interpreted a piece similar from where I live and figured it all out. So to start, I'll show you the fossiliferous flint that I found all around my home here. It's all pretty much looks like that, and it's about that size. And they're all, believe it or not, every one of those is actually an artwork. It's not just debris or debitage, because the flint was so valuable here. It was sparse. At the Spanish diggings, I found pieces this big. And to compare, I can show you, it's quite a bit bigger. You don't need a magnifier to see anything. You can just see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. Here's the books, Sentient Mammoth People, and here's the book of illustrations. And I'm going to put in your mind's eye what I have already sketched several times in the past. Like 6 or 7 years ago, I sketched these. Here's a perfect example. That's the lead family. Crotchety grandma's sitting on her special armchair, and the 4 porters are carrying it on it's like attached to a stretcher, and they're carrying it on their shoulder. She's yelling at the waist high and her granddaughter to go march out ahead of her where she can keep a glaring eyeball on her. and take her naughty kitty with her. And she's madly marching, taking big marching steps and swinging her little arms to and fro, while she scolds her little kitty that she's making briskly walk alongside of her, usually to the left side of her. So I'll show you other examples. There she is again. Kitty's walking. Here's another angle. Crotchety grandma's yelling down at her, right between her son and her grandson's heads. She's very annoying. And then here's another example. Here's the front view. She just picked up her kitty and she's going to take it a little ways and then she'll set it down and make him walk. And then here's another example. And this one's really good because I'm going to take the stone now. This is a statuesque image almost of the left side view of her childlike face. She's shouting at her. She's scolding her kitty when she looks down to her left. This edge of the piece is the invisible front edge of her cape hood that's over her bonnet. That's the frilled front edge of her bonnet right there. So there's her pug nose, her open mouth, her chin. And this is the way the kitty sees her when he looks up to his right. So the way these artworks work is you simply rotate them or invert them. Like say she's looking down, so she looks down. When she looks down, she morphs into what she sees when she looks down to her left, which is the front top meowing kitty. There's the top of his head. That's his left ear, his right inside of his right ear, his nose, his eyes, and his open meowing mouth. That's his lower right canine right there, etched out. And that's down here is the front of his foreleg, his right foreleg. He's brisk to show that he's briskly walking. So when she looks down to her left, she sees him like that. And when he looks up to his right, over his right shoulder, he sees her like this. Got it? Let's try another example. So this definitely looks like a wood duck's head. This wood duck, it's a statuesque image of a wood duck's head. This is the stub end of its neck. The duck, you are seeing it from over its left shoulder. It's preening itself. It's running feathers from its left wing through its beak, and it's preening itself. That's its left eye. I'm going to show you some examples. Okay, so let's assume in the predator-prey way, we would simply invert the preening duck's head and it'll morph into the predator that's stalking it. And there he is. It's the hood-covered head of the inexperienced young lad who's hunting. He's sticking his head through the underbrush on the riverbank, and he sees the preening duck like that. And when the duck's left eye catches him, and it looks just like that. This concave edge is the inexperienced young lad's top of the invisible left shoulder. In other words, in another example, here's a teenager that's peering through the brush at that saber-toothed cat and giraffe. The top of his left shoulder is invisible, which makes this concave edge, like what you see right here. It'd be basically the same thing. Just imagine him looking through the brush on a riverbank. I can give you another little bit example. Here's another illustration of when the inexperienced young lad got his first kill. He speared a Canada goose through the neck, and he took it home and he's really proud and he's bragging to his mother. So I could almost use this piece for that same exact thing, because there he is, talking, loudly expressing how happy he is, how he made the kill. And then, believe it or not, in the very same angle, there's the goose's head hanging down. It's almost like I sketched it already. Then the prey, predator. Until next time.